The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Women's Health Center, your hometown OB/GYN group, providing exceptional obstetrical and gynecological care for women for the past 20 years. We have 3 convenient locations in Jessup, Blackshear, and Baxley. We understand that choosing your OB/GYN is a personal decision and that the relationship with your doctor and the trust you build is essential. At Women's Health Center, we provide obstetrical care and guide you through the process, making sure you and your baby stay healthy. We provide the most advanced ultrasound technology with the clearest pictures ever. Annual gynecological care gives patients an opportunity to take charge of their health. Some of our services include hormone therapy, pellets, Botox, the new 3, 5, and 10-year IUDs, Nexplanon, and much more. We accept all insurance carriers, including TRICARE, Medicaid, and we accept all insured and uninsured patients. Please call our office at 912-588-1020 and visit majormd.com for more information about Women's Health Center. That's MAGERMD.com.
And good morning. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. And it is 8:01. It's now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located in downtown Jessup on Northeast Broad Street, by the Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street, by the Women's Health Center, located in downtown Jessup on Cherry at Broad Street, and by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Good morning, Bob. You get any sleep last night?
None.
None at all, huh? It was a heck of a night last night. We got 3 different sets of guests this morning. Let's go ahead and start with our first guest.
Well, so we got several guests. We just want to get the superintendent of schools in here to talk about the good news for Board of Education and the educational system as a whole. East Boss vote overwhelmingly supported last night by the voters. In the vote count, 6,739 yes to no votes, 3,034. The percentage breakdown, 68% to 31%. Jay, again, I thought the school system children's first committee did a good job getting the information out. As we mentioned here several times on the show, all the information was on the website, what the money's going to be used for, but it's good news for the faculty and staff, for James E. Bacon, to finally see that remodernization progress now going to be able to get off the ground and start moving.
Yeah, just, so proud of Wayne County, so proud of the hard work that a lot of people, and I won't even begin to call a bunch of names, that work so hard to get good information out there. And I think, that's what we're able to do, get good information out there about, what it was, what it's going to be used for, what we've done in the past. And now it's time to go to work and move forward. Can't say enough about the Children's First Committee. Like I said that when we started, there's a great blueprint that this committee and our county has had for the last couple of East Blosses, so we just kind of followed that, and I done what I was told, and kind of moved around, and you got to thank Jody Ammons, and who chaired that up along with Brian Griffiths. They kind of spearheaded that organization this go around, and a lot of hard work by a lot of folks, and I don't want to start calling a bunch of names, but they know who they are, and we'll certainly be reaching out to them to thank them, and maybe get together to show our appreciation. But it just enables us to continue to provide some high-quality opportunities for our children, get things up to par where it's equitable across our county, and also where we can compete with, other places across the state.
As you mentioned, not only the remodernization, that's the major project, but able to purchase some air-conditioned buses. The new track was it was very transparent on what the money's going to be used for. So I think, as I mentioned, I just think it was a good job. You mentioned the first time you were here when this thing began. You said as long as Wayne County people got the correct information, they'd make the right decision. I think that proved to be true last night.
It did, and of course we had some things we had to work through, some factors that, were unfortunate, and so that's a part of it, but we were able to get that good information out there, and again, just so happy for Wayne County that they've, decided to support, what we're doing for children. Like I said, you don't want to, penalize our children. They are our future, our foundation of what's going on in Wayne County. We want to, build a strong workforce that's ready to come back and, provide for us. Not to mention, one of the other things I try to get across to folks, the school system is one of the largest employers in the county. And so when this has helped and able to expand and grow, that only contributes to to the economy itself.
Okay, what about the projects themselves? When will the remodeling begin on James E. Bacon?
We'll get busy. We've kind of had some things, we've done a lot of preliminary homework, so we'll get moving pretty fast on some plans and start to get those things down on paper and approved by, of course, our local board and architects and that sort of thing, and get going. It will be a phased-in project.
It has to be a phased, but
sure.
You'll still be using the school, right?
We're going to have to use that same site, so there'll be some new construction. We feel like we can start on during the school year, kind of like we did Odom Elementary. That we'll add on, and then, of course, we'll do some of that major renovation inside the building, like the gym and inside the actual existing school building during the school year.
Okay, what about the track?
We'll get busy on that as well.
You've got something wanted at the school so the students can walk across and use it and be there right there for the entire school to be able to use along with the track team as a school track, and some people want it over the football field.
Well, we'll certainly revisit that again, and ultimately the Board of Education, those 5 board members will make that decision. Of course, I'll work with our principal, athletic director, and track coaches to get their information. And what I will try to do is make sure we're spreading that money where we get the biggest bang for our buck.
And the school buses, where do y'all think you'll have those bid out?
Well, that's a process. That's a state process, and that's kind of, you have to you put your bids in. That's kind of an annual deal. So we'll start that rotation of adding that allocated money to whatever the state gives us, to where we can get 4 or 5 buses every year. So they'll be coming in at the beginning of next school year.
Okay, Bob.
At the end, I just want you to come in and just congratulate you and the Children's First Committee. Again, just a good story. That was a question mark with a big turnout, how the vote would go, but I thought the committee did a great job. I thought y'all did a good job getting everything out on the website and being very transparent where the money's been used in the past and where it goes. And one thing I do want you to talk about before you leave, at the Bounce and Barbecue event at the Chamber, you outlined how this money has helped in graduation rates, test scores, things like that.
Right.
I mean, people are seeing the benefit of the 1 cent penny for education.
Yeah, I mean, we are a business. We're in the education business, and people that are supporting our education system, they want to see results, and that's certainly understandable. And I think we can argue that we've seen some, and we certainly have work to do. We haven't arrived, and again, it's all about continuous improvement. That's something we preach every day in all our schools with our administrators and teachers, and they work so hard to do just that, provide for our children. I don't think we can ever say that we've got it fixed. And educating children is a complicated process, and it's all about continuous improvement. And that's what we want to do. And this is going to help us in so many ways, not just the East Block projects, but some of the things that we've been able to add back. It kind of loosens our belt to be able to support that some more. It's like the ROTC program, for example. We really need a facility for them. The East Bus approval will allow us to, kind of slide some of our budgeted money, our local monies that we allocate every year toward those programs. We've added back art to elementary schools. We know there's a need for music, so hopefully we can work toward that. So
again, just a good story. Again, the vote count, again, in case you missed it, 68% yes, 6739 to 31% no, 3134. So it does continue for another 5 years. And again, just congrats to you, and again, congrats to the Children's First Committee, and thanks to the Wayne County voters for seeing the need for it.
And we certainly want to appreciate the Butch and Bob Show and Big Dog, which y'all do for us. Y'all support the education system, not only during this election, which you've done a tremendous job, and I appreciate it professionally and personally, but y'all do a great job and very generous, and y'all supported the school system every day. Appreciate you.
Okay, Dr. Bresson, have a good day.
All right, thank you.
All right, we got more guests in the green room here on Big Dog Country Radio. We'll have them on in a moment.
It's the Wayne County Young Farmers Truck Pull, Friday and Saturday, November 9th and 10th at the J.C. Fairgrounds in Jessup. 7 p.m. both nights. Join the Wayne County Young Farmers for lots of family fun and entertainment.
Get ready for the truck pull.
Watch the 2- and 4-wheel drive modified trucks, 2-wheel drive blower trucks, 2-wheel drive grocery trucks, the 4-wheel drive pro stock trucks. and the four-wheel drive diesel trucks. It's the Wayne County Young Farmers Truck Pull, Friday and Saturday, November 9th and 10th at the JC Fairgrounds in Jessup. Both Friday night and Saturday night, 7 p.m. Adults $12, 6 to 12, $6. Children under 6 are free. Concessions will be available and no alcoholic beverages allowed. At the Jessup JC Fairgrounds, Highway 84.
Across from the Rainier Home Show in Jessup.
This Friday and Saturday night, 7 p.m. both nights. For more information, call Franklin Birch at 579-6647 or go to WCYF.net.
105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, and world famous Butch and Bob Show for this Wednesday morning. And Bob, we got more guests here this morning.
Yeah. You have to tell me what I don't want to talk
We got Casa in here this morning. You just introduce yourself when you come on the air and explain what's going on. That y'all had requested time to talk about a particular event that's going on or subject's going on. Go ahead.
Thank y'all for having us
Your
on.
name?
My name is Pam Holmes. I'm the executive.
Pam Holmes.
I'm the executive director for Tri-County CASA, and I have with me one of our volunteers, the very important part of our program, Antonia Harris.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing today? All right. Now tell folks what CASA is.
Tri-County CASA serves 3 counties. We serve Jeff Davis County, Appling County, and Wayne County, and we've proudly done so for 20 years. Even though we've been serving these counties, there are many people that don't know what CASA is. Our volunteers work very hard, and most of it's behind the scenes. It's not one of those volunteer positions that's real visible in the community. What we do, we serve foster care children in the juvenile court system. We are the voice for foster care children in the juvenile court system. Our volunteers, the requirements to be a volunteer, you only have to be 18 years of age. Be willing to go through our volunteer training program, which is 40 hours. 30 hours of that is in classroom, and then another 10 hours observing juvenile court. It's a very important position. Our volunteers go through a criminal background check. One of the things that they do is background information on our kids. Depending on the age of the child, they may explain the juvenile court process to them. If the child is old enough to go to court, explain to them what's happening. Many children get lost in the system. Our foster care workers have huge caseloads, overworked. Our CASAs carry a caseload typically of 1 to 2 cases. So we have the time and the energy to do background information. Our CASAs interview anybody and everybody that's involved with that child. It may be the foster parents, the parents, teachers, therapists, anybody and everybody that is in that child's life, and then they prepare a report for the juvenile court judge and are present in juvenile court. That report serves as a snapshot of what's actually going on in that child's life, and the CASA volunteer recommends what we feel like is in the best interest of that child.
So they gather all this information on a juvenile to be presented to the judge. Judge makes the decision on what's going to happen with that foster child?
That's correct.
Okay, based on all that information.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what a CASA volunteer does, is basically a detective in a sense.
In a sense.
Yeah.
And support for that child.
And support there in court, I understand. Yeah. And then are these already foster kids, or what are the usual decisions that the judge is making for these children?
Typically, when we are assigned a case, the children are already in foster care. So it's what our role is to ensure that that child achieves permanency as soon as possible. That's what I meant earlier about children can get lost in the system. There's legislation in place now to help address that. But that's one of the biggest roles the CASA serves, is to make sure that that child continues to move through the system to get to a safe, permanent home as quickly as possible.
So if they're already a foster child, and it comes before CASA, and you've got one of your volunteers do the background, and I guess there's problems going on in that foster home for some reason.
DFACS has already made the determination that it's not a safe home for that child for whatever the reason might be, and there could be a number of reasons.
Okay. And Antonio, why did you get involved with CASA?
Very special angel on earth, her name's Denise Graham, came and visited me one day and said, "Do you know what a CASA does?" And I said, "No," and she explained it to me. The CASAs work with the judges and with the guardian ad litems who are assigned to each and every child, because that's our state law.
Right.
And CASAs work in conjunction with them and the Department of Family and Children's Services to do what's in the best interest of these children in their biological homes. And sometimes they're pulled, as Ms. Pam has said, out of their family's home for safety issues. And it could be physical abuse or other,
mental,
right, emotional abuse,
all kinds of things.
all those kinds of things. And she talked to me about it. And I thought, with my background as a social worker, I probably should be doing something like that, but I wasn't ready. About 3 years later, divine intervention, there was a call. I felt like this is something I probably should get involved in. It's the best decision I've ever made as a volunteer, working within the system to try and make sure that our children don't fall through the cracks, helping the foster families that decide to volunteer to take these children in, make sure that they have the resources they need in the best way possible, and to be the information giver to the judge so he can make or she can make an informed decision about what's in the best interest of the children. It's been a great opportunity.
And when you go through all this and the child's having problems, and have you done many investigations, Antonio?
And talking to the pediatric doctor, making sure that the children are going to their pediatric visits. I want to make sure that the listeners understand that we have 45 children in Wayne County alone that need to be in foster, and we have 9 foster families.
That's the next question is, where are you finding these foster families to be able to take these children in?
We need more. In fact, just recently, not to sidebar too much, but as recently as just the other night, we invited folks from out of town to come talk to us about how we can get more foster families. And we've been trying to do with a program called Promise 686, been reaching out to churches. There are 90-plus churches in Wayne County alone, and trying to get worship leaders to talk to their congregations and let them know that we have a crisis with the foster homes, not near enough. So with 45 children, we have 9 families to try and handle that load. So they need support from the churches. Our office, Dr. Harris's office, came up with the staff putting their brains together. They're awesome. So we came up with 101 ways churches can help support, and we put together a networking meeting the other night, and it was received well. We can't keep up that. We've got a lot to do with the as you said, investigation. I like to look at it as information gathering and researching. It's just me. I went to U of L with that, with a research-oriented school. But we visit the child. We'll visit the neighbors. We'll say, what did you see? How did this go? There's no drama involved in that. There's just information, not he said, she said. But what do we have as far as relatives, family? What are we seeing for the biological parents? The judge would obviously like to get these children placed in a home that's stable, permanent, as soon as possible. That's what the judicial system would like to see. And so when we gather this information, and safe, and primarily safe. And so reunification would be ideal, to put them back in the homes and give the parents parenting if they need that. DFACS will And of course, everyone knows we are short and defects with the case workers, and so we're doing the best we can to get that strengthened back up in Wayne County and bring it to the attention. Our Senator, Blake Tillery, has been vested in knowing our shortages, what's going on in the whole Tri-County area. There are shortages. He let me know that there was a stakeholders meeting. I went to that, and I listened to other counties talk about their shortages within the Department of Family and Children's Services, case managers, et cetera. So we're doing the best we can. So now the reach out to the community to say, churches, please talk to your congregations. Let's have more CASA volunteers. We are doing all that we can as CASAs. Let's get some more foster volunteers. Let's get some more neighbors involved to help the judicial system along to expedite these cases and get children placed in safe, permanent environments.
There is a need for foster families, but I just want to say we don't recruit foster families. We can identify that there's a need for it. We see it but our role is to recruit the CASA volunteers.
Right. Okay. And what happens to these children if they're in a situation, if you've got all these children that are in foster care or need to be in foster care, and you've only got 9 families so far that are homes that are have foster? What happens to the kids in the interim? Where do they go? What happens?
They go to other counties.
Okay.
Sadly, some may be in hotels.
Really good question as well. And there are different safe places, if you will, and I'm not going to list those out by names, but some of what you might think of in terms of where we send children to be helped when they have difficulties behaving. Sometimes those children that are getting pulled are also intermixed with some organizations that are put together to keep these children safe. All their essential basic needs met, food, clothing, shelter, and those children are all mixed. If you talk to one of the lead juvenile Department of Family and Children caseworkers, she will tell you there's a huge gap where for teens, young children. So we don't, and her goal is to try and bring that to the attention so these children aren't put in facilities where we have a mixture of children who've been misbehaving, children who are just lost in the system, and they're just waiting for
it's good there. CASA is there because, like you are an advocate for the juveniles, and if you got parents that are not paying attention or are not in those homes, or they're in foster homes where they're not paying attention, the children have to have somebody standing up for their rights and trying to look out for their best interest. And so, how does a person become a CASA volunteer? What process do they have to go through? What number should they call? I know what process, you just said that, but who do they call and how do they get the information? I want to take a look at it.
They call our office, which the number is 912-367-0064. We're always happy to talk to people that are interested in becoming volunteers. There is an application process. Once we receive that application, then we hold an interview with that person. If that person decides that this is something that they want to do, then we schedule them for our next training class. And our next class here in Wayne County will be in January. So we're already up and recruiting for that January class. This has been an exciting month for us here in Wayne County with CASA. We held a ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce simply as another way to let the community know that we are here in Wayne County. We plan to stay in Wayne County and serve the children here in Wayne County. We were at the Arch Fest. Probably one of the biggest things we have coming up is our fundraiser. Our annual fundraiser is always in November. And this year it's totally different than what it's been in the past. We're having a family feud. We have...
CASA's having a family feud, all right?
Yes, exactly. It's modeled after the TV show, and we have a professional gamester, if you will, that comes in and he facilitates the game show, and we have a certain number of teams that are the competitive teams.
You already got teams set up?
We do.
All right, good.
I do think there may be a couple of spots left for competitive tables if anybody's interested.
All right. Where's this going to be held?
This is going to be at the barn at Milan Farms in Baxley. It's a new venue. It's beautiful.
Okay. And how do y'all make money off of it?
Primarily, we make money from the silent auction, we also have a live auction.
Okay. All right. The number to call to get information will be an ACASA volunteer is 912-367-0064. And it's a great organization that is looking out for the rights and the best interest and the safety of the juveniles and I'll call them children in this area. Anything else?
I just want to say we are having a swearing in this week for 5 new volunteers here in Wayne County, so we're very proud of that.
Okay.
I think one more really important thing is that who can be a volunteer, and Pam, you can help me with this, but moms, radio announcers, superintendents, teachers, retired folks, people who think, I don't know anything about anything, that's probably the best way to come into it.
Yep.
And
just about anybody who's got
moms, dads, aunts, uncles, anyone who cares about children and wants to get involved.
Our training is really developed for anyone so that they come in. It's an excellent training even for someone that doesn't know anything about the juvenile court system or how that works.
Most people.
Yes, it is. That is most people.
Okay.
And there aren't many people busier than Antonia Harris, and she does an excellent job for us as a volunteer.
Well,
so I encourage everyone to look at volunteering.
They always say if you want to get something done, ask a busy person.
That's right.
So appreciate y'all coming in. Anytime that y'all want to come on, let us know. If you want to come back in for the fundraiser, let us know. We're glad to help out, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll be back more of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. We got some more guests in the green room.
Good morning, everyone. Mostly cloudy skies for our Wednesday forecast with a 30% chance of showers and storms this afternoon. Highs will be close to 80 degrees. Some of those showers and storms will stick around tonight, and we'll certainly see more of them tomorrow as well, with highs in the mid-70s. Friday, a lesser chance of showers. Still keep the clouds, though, with highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Georgia meteorologist Laura Huckabee in the GMN Weather Center.
Tradition. Excellence. Hail Southern, the home of champions. Party! He did! Wayne Southern, the nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern! Hear every game right here on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Your station for Georgia Southern Eagle football, WIFO 105.5 FM.
105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO. Butch Everett here with you, along with Bob Morgan on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Bob, more guests this morning.
Yes, sir. Talking Christmas Parade, Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade coming up first weekend in December. Donnie Ray
and the guests. Donnie Ray, Chief Deputy, and good morning, Donnie.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing
saw you, Donnie Ray. It's courthouse.
Not a couple hours ago, wasn't it?
Well, long ago.
Feel like you were back in EMA, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what's going on with the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade, Donnie?
Well, we've been working on it a couple months now. We're getting everything ready, and we thought we'd come on here and give everybody the theme and a few details on how they can enter and all.
Okay, go ahead.
The theme this year is Christmas lights and winter nights. We already started taking entries. Last year, I think we had around 120 or 130 entries, and we'd like to have about the same amount this year. We like people, to put floats with a lot of lights on it.
Lots of lights.
Lots of lights. We got an early bird special going on now between now and November the 16th. If you're a chamber member, that's $35. If you're a non-chamber member, it's $45. And after the 16th, the fee goes up to $50 for members and $60 for non-members.
Okay.
But the parade is December the 1st, 7 p.m. It's going to be the same lineup as last year, always on,
Broad Street.
Broad Street, and we're going to go down Cherry and First Street all the way down to Tie. So it's going to be the same route we've always had.
Who's your guest this morning?
This is Austin Bray. He's on our committee.
Good morning, Austin.
Second year on our committee with us.
All right. Austin, what's your involvement in this year's Christmas parade?
Oh, a little bit of everything.
Everything, huh?
That's right.
Whatever they want you to do, Austin do.
Yes. I was presenting sponsor this year's Kitchen Tune-Up, And then our main stage sponsor is Jones Medical Equipment, and our First Street stage sponsor is Neesmith Chevrolet.
Okay. And so those are the major sponsors this year of the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade. And appreciate them helping out.
Thank you.
Donnie?
As always, it's going to be live on WIFO that night. And also it's going to be on WTOC on December the 9th at 5 p.m. They're going to show it again on WTOC like they did last year.
Good.
So we'll have them on there.
Get to see it live and then get to see it again.
Yes, sir.
All right, and on 105.5, I'll be there just kind of describing what's going on and what's happening. And turn the audio over to the two announcers there on the main stage on Cherry Street and let them announce the parade. But I'm there about an hour beforehand, just encouraging folks to show up, what's going to be happening, and just having some fun.
Yes, sir. It's that's always a good night around Wayne County. We always have a big support of people coming out. We always debate on the date when to change and all, but it don't matter when we do it. We have a big turnout in Wayne County for the Christmas parade. Yeah, every year.
Yeah, we try a different date. Just keep it on first Saturday in December, and everybody knows when it is.
Yes, sir.
Donnie Ray in this morning, Austin Brake with the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade Committee, giving us an update. And if you'd like to make an entry into the parade, just check with the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, sir.
Right there on Plum Street. Give them a call at 427-2028. 2028. That's 427. All right.
You're going to have a big screen TV down there so you can watch the Georgia Alabama game? Or?
We'll be watching. so if the lineup's a little bit messed up, people out of place, you'll know why.
All right. We'll look forward to seeing y'all again next week. All right.
Thank you.
105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Bridgeport and Black Cheer. Also brought to you by the Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street, Murphy Builder Supply Northeast Broad Street, and the Women's Health Center in downtown Jessup at Cherry at Broad Street. Got a giveaway coming away soon.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.